The prince who neglects his vitality becomes servant to lesser men. Machiavelli understood this. Energy is the currency of power. Without it, you command nothing. Your exhaustion isn't an accident, it's a conquest, and you've surrendered without knowing the enemy. Listen carefully. You wake up tired, you go to sleep tired, the coffee stops working around noon. This isn't normal, this is strategic failure. Machiavelli wrote that fortresses are useful or useless depending on the times. Your body is your fortress. Right now, it's useless. The question is, why? Most people blame their schedule, their job, their responsibilities. They're wrong. The problem runs deeper. It lives in how you spend your internal resources, how you guard what matters, how you allow invasion. Think of mental energy like a prince's treasury, finite, exhaustible, under constant siege. Every demand on your attention is a tax, every decision is an expenditure, every interaction drains the coffers. The weak prince spends freely, the strong prince spends strategically. You are spending freely.
Let's start with the invisible thief, decision fatigue. Machiavelli advised that a prince must be decisive but not wasteful in his judgments. Each choice carries weight. Your brain makes thousands of decisions daily. What to wear, what to eat, which email to answer first, whether to respond to that text. Each one costs you. The exhaustion you feel at 3 in the afternoon isn't from physical labor. It's from bleeding your mental resources on trivial choices. The enemy here is abundance. Too many options, too many paths, too many voices demanding consideration. In Renaissance Italy, a prince who deliberated over every minor matter found himself paralyzed when true threats emerged. You do this every day. You spend your energy choosing between 15 types of cereal, between streaming services, between minor social obligations that mean nothing. By the time something important arrives, you're depleted. The solution is brutal simplification. Remove choices, automate decisions, establish routines so rigid they require no thought. Machiavelli understood that the appearance of deliberation matters. The reality should be automatic. Wear the same thing, eat the same breakfast, take the same route, answer emails at the same time. This isn't boring. This is fortification. Your energy is too valuable to waste on decisions that don't advance your position.
Now the second drain, the performance of availability. Machiavelli wrote extensively about the prince's relationship with his subjects. He must appear accessible, yet remain protected. You've failed this completely. Your phone buzzes, you answer. A message arrives, you respond. Someone needs something, you provide. This constant availability destroys you. Every interruption fragments your focus. Every notification resets your mental state. Every request pulls you from depth to surface. The cognitive cost is severe. Research shows it takes 23 minutes to return to deep focus after an interruption. Most people are interrupted every 3 minutes. You never reach depth. You live in the shallows, and shallow water cannot sustain you. The prince who makes himself constantly available becomes a servant. He loses the mystery, the authority, the capacity for sustained thought. You must withdraw. Set boundaries like you are defending a city-state. Specific hours for communication, specific times for isolation, gates that close. The weak fear being unreachable. They think availability equals value. The strong understand that scarcity creates worth. When you're always available, you're never valuable. Third mechanism, the tyranny of other people's priorities. Machiavelli observed that princes often fall because they serve too many masters. They try to please everyone. They fragment their purpose. You do this constantly. Your boss wants something. Your family wants something. Your friends want something. Social media wants something. Each demand feels legitimate. Each request seems reasonable, but together they consume you. You spend your days executing other people's agendas, solving other people's problems, advancing other people's goals. Your own purpose starves. This isn't generosity. This is strategic suicide. The exhaustion you feel isn't from hard work. It's from misallocated work, from laboring in fields you don't own, from building fortresses for other princes. Machiavelli would ask you a simple question. What are you building for yourself? If you can't answer, you're a mercenary in your own life. And mercenaries, as he wrote, are useless and dangerous. They have no loyalty, no staying power. They flee when things get difficult. You're fleeing from yourself. The correction requires ruthlessness. Identify your true objective, the one thing that advances your position. Then audit every activity against it. Does this meeting serve my goal? Does this favor advance my position? Does this relationship strengthen my fortress? If the answer is no, refuse it. The word no is your greatest weapon. Use it like Machiavelli used political calculation. Frequently, strategically, without apology.
Fourth factor, the poison of emotional labor. Machiavelli understood that princes must manage perception, but he also knew the cost of constant performance. You perform constantly. At work, you perform competence, enthusiasm, engagement. At home, you perform patience, presence, energy you don't have. On social media, you perform success, happiness, a life that doesn't exist. This performance exhausts you more than any physical task. Emotional regulation requires massive cognitive resources, suppressing frustration, forcing enthusiasm, maintaining a mask. Every interaction becomes theater, and you're always on stage. The prince who never removes his mask forgets his own face. You've forgotten yours. The solution isn't authenticity. That's a modern delusion. Machiavelli never advised princes to be authentic. The solution is strategic withdrawal. Create spaces where performance isn't required, where the mask comes off, where you answer to no one. This might be early morning, late night, a locked room, a solitary walk, somewhere you can stop managing how others perceive you. These moments aren't luxuries, they're survival. Without them, the performance consumes the performer, the role becomes the reality, and you disappear. Fifth drain, the illusion of productivity. Machiavelli wrote about the difference between appearing strong and being strong. Most princes confused the two. You're making the same mistake. You're busy, constantly busy. Emails, meetings, tasks, projects. But busy isn't productive. Motion isn't progress. You're exhausted because you're doing 1,000 things poorly instead of 3 things well. The modern world rewards activity. It measures hours worked, messages sent, meetings attended. None of this matters. What matters is impact, results, advancement of position. But impact requires focus, deep focus, the kind that's impossible when you're busy. So you work harder, longer hours, more effort, and you get more tired, but not more effective. Machiavelli observed that princes who tried to hold every territory ended up holding none. Their forces spread too thin, their attention too divided. You are fighting on too many fronts. The exhaustion is strategic overextension. You need to retreat from 90% of what you're doing, consolidate your forces, defend fewer positions with greater strength. This feels dangerous, like you're abandoning responsibility. You're not. You're choosing your battles. The prince who fights everywhere loses everywhere.
Now, the deeper mechanism, the corruption of sleep. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must understand human nature, starting with his own. Your nature requires sleep, real sleep, not the broken, anxious half-sleep you're getting. But you've declared war on rest. You scroll before bed, you check email at midnight, you watch television until you pass out. Your brain never powers down, never processes, never repairs. You're running a machine without maintenance. It's breaking down. The exhaustion you feel isn't just from today, it's from 6 months of accumulated sleep debt, from nights where your mind raced, from mornings where you woke anxious. Sleep isn't weakness, it's restoration of power. The prince who doesn't rest loses judgment, makes poor decisions, becomes vulnerable to manipulation. You're vulnerable right now. Your sleep hygiene is probably terrible. Your bedroom is probably wrong. Your habits are probably destroying your rest. Fix this before anything else. Dark room, cool temperature, no screens for an hour before bed, same sleep time every night. These aren't suggestions, these are fortifications. Your sleep is under siege from blue light, from caffeine, from anxiety, from the culture that celebrates exhaustion. Defend it like your kingdom depends on it, because it does. 7th factor, the weight of unexpressed truth. Machiavelli understood that secrets create power, but also burden. You're carrying things you haven't said, frustrations you haven't expressed, boundaries you haven't set. This weight is exhausting you. Every time you smile when you want to scream, you spend energy. Every time you agree when you disagree, you drain yourself. Every time you suppress your actual response, you pay a price. The price accumulates. You become tired not from what you're doing, but from what you're not saying. The prince who cannot speak truth to his advisors becomes their prisoner. He exhausts himself maintaining lies. You're maintaining so many lies that you're fine when you're not, that you're interested when you're bored, that you care when you don't. Each lie costs you. The solution isn't radical honesty. That's foolish. Machiavelli never advocated for that. The solution is strategic truth. Choose your battles, but in those battles, speak clearly, set boundaries firmly, express needs directly. Stop spending energy on diplomatic silence. The exhaustion will decrease when the weight of unsaid things decreases. 8th mechanism, the absence of purpose. Machiavelli wrote that princes without clear objectives become tools of fortune. They drift, they react, they never lead. You're drifting. Your exhaustion might not be from doing too much. It might be from doing things that mean nothing. Work without purpose is soul-draining. It depletes you in ways physical labor never could. You can work 12 hours building something you believe in and feel energized. You can work 2 hours on meaningless tasks and feel destroyed. The difference is meaning. Not passion, not calling, not destiny. Meaning. The sense that your actions advance a position you care about. Do you have this? If you spend your days on tasks that don't matter to you, serving goals you don't share, advancing purposes you don't believe in, the exhaustion makes sense. You're not tired from the work, you're tired from the meaninglessness. Machiavelli would tell you that a prince must have a clear vision. Even a terrible vision is better than none. What's your vision? What are you actually trying to build, acquire, become? If you don't know, start there. Because without direction, every step costs twice the energy. You're walking in circles and wondering why you never arrive. 9th factor, the drain of toxic relationships. Machiavelli wrote extensively about choosing allies, about the danger of bad counsel, about the cost of keeping the wrong people close. You're keeping the wrong people close. Some relationships energize you, some deplete you. The depleting ones are killing you. The friend who only takes, the family member who only criticizes, the colleague who only complains. Every interaction with them costs you. You brace yourself before you see them. You recover after they leave. This is strategic hemorrhaging. The prince who keeps treacherous advisors close out of sentiment or obligation weakens his own position. You're doing this. You think you're being kind, loyal, a good person. You're being strategically foolish. Your energy is finite. Your time is limited. Your capacity for relationships has a ceiling. Every slot occupied by a depleting person is a slot not occupied by an energizing one. This isn't cruelty. This is resource management. Machiavelli advised that it's better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both, but it's better to be alone than surrounded by draining people. Audit your relationships. Honestly, brutally. Who leaves you more energized? Who leaves you depleted? Then make hard choices. Distance yourself from the drainers, even family, even old friends, even people you've known forever. The exhaustion will lift when the wrong people leave. 10th mechanism, the absence of recovery rituals. Machiavelli observed that even in war, armies must rest, must regroup, must restore their strength. You never rest, you never regroup, you never restore. You finish work and immediately fill the space with more demands, more screens, more stimulation. There's no buffer, no transition, no recovery. You go from one battlefield to another without ever tending your wounds. This is why the exhaustion never lifts. You need recovery rituals, daily ones, weekly ones, seasonal ones. Not vacation, not escape, rituals. Specific activities that restore your energy, that signal to your system that it's time to recover. This might be walking, reading, sitting in silence, creating something, physical exercise. What matters is that it's intentional, regular, protected. Not something you do when you have time, something you make time for. The prince who neglects his army's recovery finds them useless in the next battle. You're useless right now because you never recover. Build the rituals, defend them like strategic positions. They're not optional, they're survival. Now the trap beneath all of this. The belief that exhaustion is normal. You've been tired so long, you think this is just life, just adulthood, just how things are. It's not. Exhaustion has been normalized, celebrated even. The culture praises people who work themselves to death, who never rest, who sacrifice everything. This is propaganda, and you've internalized it. Machiavelli wrote about how princes use ideology to control populations, how they make servitude seem like virtue. You're serving and calling it responsibility. The truth is simpler. You're exhausted because you're living in a way that exhausts you. The structure of your days, the nature of your commitments, the quality of your boundaries, the clarity of your purpose, all of it is wrong. Not morally wrong, strategically wrong. And you have the power to change it. Not all at once, not perfectly, but incrementally, strategically. The prince who waits for perfect conditions never acts. He loses by default. You need to act now with the conditions you have, from the position you're in. Start with one thing, just one. Not 10 changes, not a complete life overhaul, one strategic adjustment. Maybe it's your sleep. Maybe it's saying no to one type of request. Maybe it's removing one depleting relationship. Pick the lever that will move the most, then pull it. Watch what happens. Feel the slight increase in energy, the small expansion of capacity. Then make another change. This is how you reclaim yourself, not through revolution, through strategic, calculated adjustments. Machiavelli understood that power is built incrementally, one decision, one boundary, one strategic choice at a time. Your energy is your power. Right now, you have none, but you can get it back, not through rest alone, not through vacation, not through waiting for things to get better, through strategic restructuring of how you spend your most valuable resource, your attention, your time, your mental energy. These belong to you. You've given them away to everyone, to everything. Take them back. Guard them like a prince guards his treasury. Allocate them like a general allocates troops. Stop spending freely. Start spending strategically. the exhaustion will lift, not all at once, but gradually. As you remove the drains, as you strengthen the boundaries, as you clarify the purpose, you'll start to feel something you haven't felt in years. Energy. Real energy. Not caffeine, not adrenaline, not fake enthusiasm. The deep energy that comes from aligned living, from strategic existence, from knowing what you're building and protecting what you need to build it. Machiavelli's final lesson about power is this: you cannot hold what you cannot defend. You cannot defend what you don't value. You don't value your energy. That's why it's gone. You give it away to every request, every demand, every expectation. You treat it as infinite when it's finite, as renewable when it depletes, as unimportant when it's everything. The prince who doesn't defend his borders loses his kingdom. Your borders are your boundaries, your limits, your capacity to say no. Right now, your borders are undefended. Everyone crosses them. You let them. This ends when you decide it ends, when you value your energy enough to protect it, to allocate it strategically, to spend it only on what advances your position. The exhaustion isn't permanent. It's chosen through 1,000 small surrenders. You can choose differently, starting now, not tomorrow, not Monday, not when things calm down. Now. One boundary, one decision, one strategic choice, then another. Then another. This is how you reclaim your kingdom. This is how you stop being tired, not through rest, through power, through the deliberate strategic restructuring of how you live. Machiavelli would tell you that fortune favors the bold, but boldness without strategy is recklessness. Be strategic, be deliberate, be ruthless with what drains you. Your energy is your currency, your fortress, your power. Defend it like your life depends on it, because it does.